I say this to people generally, I lose out lakhs of business per month because people are just so scared to transition to a vegan diet. And I don't work with people who are not ready to make the change because I know I can't heal. I don't know what eggs will do to your body. It'll do bad, but I don't know if you'll get the results you want. So I just upfront, I'm very honest with people, and I lose out a lot of business per month. And people might think, but you're in a niche, so you get a lot of vegan population reaching out. That doesn't happen. But it's okay because I know ethically when I go to sleep at night, I know that, what I'm doing is right. I'm not doing anything wrong. So that's a challenge. Other thing with living in India, there are powerful voices. There are nutritionists and there are dietitians out there with really good, powerful voices who are entertaining and educating people and telling people to have ghee and milk and paneer and, without any scientific background. And I've reached out to them. I've told them, I've messaged them, I've DM'd them, I've shown them the studies. They just block me off social media or they stop replying to my emails because they don't have any answers. And it's sold. Tell someone that eat ghee because our ancestors ate it and all your problems will go away. That's sold. But are you even looking at history? Are you even looking at the consumption of dairy and how it's grown through the years? I mean, when you look at someone like 100 years back, 50 years back, look at your plate. It was like 5-10% dairy. And look at your plate now, ice creams and like cheese. And all this was not there back then.
And there was no processed food during that time, and so much of physical activity and so many things were there.
Exactly. So it was not there. And even from a very ethical perspective, the way the animals were treated was very, very different. Animals treated, now I'm not even talking about animals being hormonated, because all of them are hormonated. Growth hormones injected into animals increases the production of milk. I'm not even talking about that part. But the living conditions of the animals was bad. The cortisol level, the stress level in the animal is higher. And that, if you're eating that, or if you're eating something that comes out of someone whose cortisol levels are higher, it's going to have an impact on your body. And you don't need it. So, you don't need dairy to survive. You don't need, if you talk to a non-vegetarian, they're going to say, no, but you can't survive without meat. Vegetarians are doing it. You talk to a vegetarian, they're going to say you can't survive without dairy. Look at the vegan populations across the world. Look at the movie Game Changer. There are athletes on a 100% vegan diet who are thriving. They're not surviving. They're thriving, they're doing better, they're living longer, they're performing better, their speed, their performance, and there's studies to show this. So when you have nutritionists encouraging people, I have a client who's 18-year-old, working with some nutritionist for a year, who had put on a high dairy diet, 18-year-old child with cholesterol. And it makes me feel so bad. And the explanation, the nutrition, this is someone with a degree of nutrition. Explanation the nutritionist told us, when you're losing weight, your blood gets thicker and that's why you have cholesterol. It's normal. And I was like, I mean, even a layman understands what is wrong. This is not okay. You can't have a client. If you're working with a client, you can't have. So it's really sad to see sometimes social media has given all of us, a voice. And when someone's telling you have paneer before going to sleep, it sounds exciting. Everyone loves paneer. And you want to do that. But that's not right for your body. That's not okay. So that is a challenge I face all the time. And of course, Google. When you have Google, Google's not going to give you a right or a wrong. Google's going to give you right opinions and wrong opinions. So there are websites, there are blogs which say dairy is good for you. So when I'm talking to a client and trying to explain them, and they would send me a random blog, and then I have to. But I love that process because for me, it's educating the client. I honestly do enjoy the process, and I encourage my clients, ask me questions so you learn and you're going to be empowered to follow something. But yeah, no other challenges besides. I love my work, honestly.
That is amazing. And since you shared that perspective of, everything is there in the Google and there are something written out there, something not written out there, maybe, how we utilize internet might be the biggest thing we can use for our better advantage of our health and wellness. So because of the advent of internet, and Netflix is bringing out such documentaries where people are taking life threatening situations upon themselves and bringing out what is actually happening.
Yeah.
Even the companies are saying ki this is good because the money is actually going there. So if all the people who are listening this, if you have not watched the Netflix documentaries of the game changers, what the health, a plastic
Right.
ocean, seaspiracy,
Yeah.
please go ahead and watch it. I mean, you're, at least if you don't want to change your lifestyle, which is fine, but at least you will have some more real knowledge and information, at least for,
Yeah.
you will have it right hand on your. So Roshni, just like you mentioned that, yes, it is evident because people compared ki, few hundred years back we used to have ghee and all these things, but people forget that now that quality, purity and everything has changed. The lifestyle has changed, the processed food etc have come into picture, and that is the thing that they are not understanding. So in this aspect I would want to ask you that what is the most concerning thing or the funny thing you have come across when dealing with so many people in terms of health and fitness, which actually you come across again and again and again?
Yeah. Yeah. So, like you said, no, things have changed. One thing which has changed drastically is when you look at dairy products, they are high in the female sex hormone estrogen. They have a lot of estrogen because when even like a lady, a woman who's giving birth, right after she gives birth, the amount of estrogen in the body is higher because she's just given birth to a baby. Yeah. So the estrogen levels are higher. Dairy products have naturally, even if you're not hormonating the animals, which they mostly do, but if you have a cow in your backyard and you're treating it really nicely and you take the milk, which is, the cow has to get pregnant to give milk. If you take the milk which the cow gives, it has a lot of estrogen, the female sex hormone. 50 years back, getting that little bit of estrogen from animals didn't have any impact on the body because it was that much little estrogen. Now we are exposed to estrogen disruptors or hormone disruptors all around our environment. Example, plastic. Plastic has hormone disruptors. So if you drinking something out of plastic or you're heating plastic in the microwave, then those hormone disruptors get in your food and you're consuming it. So you're getting your hormone disruptors from dairy, you're getting your hormone disruptors from plastic. Things you don't think about. You go into a grocery store, you make a purchase, and they give you a receipt. Yeah, that receipt, when you're touching it, that receipt has estrogen disruptors. So if your hand has sweat, which all of our hand has, it has sweat glands, or if you've just used sanitizer, or if you just washed your hands or something, and you're touching the receipt, you see the black marks on the receipt. Your thumbprint actually comes. When your thumbprint comes, all of that has gone into your skin. You are exposing yourself to estrogen disruptors. There are foods we eat unconsciously which have hormone disruptors. There are foods which will have aspartame, artificial sweeteners, which are there in a lot of food, and we don't read the label of everything. If you read the label, we don't understand the words of what is written. Oligosaccharides. How do you know what it is? We just, and we do this now. It is a common habit once in a week to eat outside. Everyone does minimum more, but once in a week minimum we are eating from outside. So you're exposing yourself to estrogen disruptors and hormone disruptors. That plus that plus that plus that throughout the day is adding up. And then we say, why do I have PCOS? PCOS was not there 50 years back. And then we say, why do I have insulin sensitivity? I've tried everything to lose weight. Why is it not going down? Darling, the weight loss is not because you're not working hard enough. You're working really hard. You're eating less. You're doing everything right. It's the hormonal fluctuation in the body which is causing the weight gain. And unless you learn to fix the hormonal fluctuation, weight gain is going to continue happening. You're not going to lose weight. So that's another misconception which I've seen people, and people are caught now. Everyone has gadgets. You have apps like Healthify Me and MyFitnessPal and Chromometer. These are wonderful, really good apps to track your food, which I don't suggest anyone do it. No one should be tracking their food and eating that way. It's really mentally torturing. And I've personally seen, people who come up to me with eating disorders because they've tracked their calories and macros and tried to reach numbers. So it's not healthy. No one should do it. But, if you want, you can track your food. So sometimes clients come up to me, hey, I'm eating only 1,000 calories a day. I'm eating only 800 calories a day, but still I'm not losing weight. I think my body's plateaued. You don't plateau like that. And that's a funny misconception. Athletes who've been training for 6 to 8 months constantly for 4, 5, 6 hours a day, they plateau. humans, like regular people, don't plateau. You're not plateauing.